the fear of man and the fear of judgment that you have is really you letting other people dictate how you're living. When you start thinking what others are thinking about you, when you start letting people decide for yourself what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis, how you're going to spend your Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday nights, how you're going to spend your time in school, how you're going to spend your time in the gym, whatever it may be, when you start caring about all of that, you build the fear of being judged, because when you're asking so many things and when you're letting people dictate your life, you are constantly aware of what people are thinking of you and how people are showing you what to do. Because when you realize and when you look at what they're showing you what to do, you're gonna want to do what they tell you to, because that's what they want. And that's what my foot got like stuck in the thing. Anyways, that's what they want. That's how they want you to live. And once you start constantly seeing that and realizing it, your fear and your really the tension of you being judged in your mind is so strong, because you're only looking at what they're telling you what to do, how they're telling you to drink, eat, whatever it may be. If you're out and about and they're like, oh, let's go get food, and then you're like, oh, no, I'm trying to eat clean, and you get peer pressured, and you listen to them, that's you letting them dictate how you're living. Nobody else, at the end of the night, when your head hits that pillow, nobody is in your brain and is in your mental thoughts except you. Obviously, the Lord is also in your thoughts, but I'm talking about in this world physically. Your mom, your dad, your friends, family, whatever it may be, anyone you interact with, they're nowhere near what you're thinking about, because it's impossible for them to be in your head. And not only that, is they're in their heads and they're thinking about themselves. So when you're constantly being anxious about Timmy thinking of you and Jimmy always trying to make you feel bad, dumb, whatever it may be, when you're constantly thinking about Jerry, who whenever he sees you makes a joke about you, and you ask him how you should be living and he tells you what to do, when you're constantly thinking about those three people, you're just removing your own thoughts and your own desires and bringing in fake reality thoughts from their perspective into your mind. But when ultimately they're not even in your mind. They're not thinking about you when they hit the hay, when they go to bed. They're thinking about what they did throughout the day and who said what to them and how they treated X, Y, and Z, and if Sally really liked him or if Missy liked him. I don't know. Like, it's such a weird phenomenon to me, and it's such a weird phenomenon, or it's such a weird idea, and it's a weird phenomenon that people are constantly thinking about if others are thinking about them and what others think about them, but in reality, those people are thinking about themselves. You gotta realize that when you're constantly falling into drinking alcohol with your boys, or you're eating a cheat meal because your friends invited you to go out to dinner, or you're not hitting the gym because you want to sit down and watch TV with your parents, or whatever it may be, you're letting others control your life, which builds that fear of judgment, and it builds that unwant the want of approval from others as well. And when you want approval, you're gonna want people to tell you how to live, and then you're gonna want to never go back to how you want to live, because you think in your mind that, oh, I just want to be validated from others, and I want to seek validation from this whole world. I want to tell you right now that this world persecuted the perfect, sinless man, Jesus Christ, 2,000 years ago, and you're seeking validation from a world that killed an innocent man? Now, if you're Christian or not, it's still a great image, because in reality, Jesus Christ, he was the ultimate example of not seeking validation from anyone but the Lord. And he was the ultimate example of not caring what others thought, because at the end of the day, people spat on him, they stoned him, they judged him, they accused him, they shed his blood, they did everything, but he still died on the cross for us. He still lived the life he knew he was destined to live, and that's how you are to be, and that's how I am to be. I'm not saying we're to be perfect, because it's impossible. We're sinners at the end of the day. We're not perfect, but in order to live the life that we know we need to live, in order to life that we want to live, we need to stop seeking validation from other people and stop having fear of man, because once you have a fear of man, like I said, I'm going to say over and over again, you let them control your life. And when you let them control your life, then again, it builds the fear of man, and you can't even think for yourself. You don't even know who you are. Well, when you start living for yourself, when you know who you are, you're able to do the things you realize that you like to do. I'm telling you this, even like months ago, like last year in December, moving back, I would always try to seek validation from other people, and I always wanted people to know who I was and know that I was cool and whatnot. But when I started realizing that it's not how I want to live, and I started doing things my own way, I started living how I wanted to live. I started eating 100% clean. I started going to the gym by myself. I started spending the nights alone on Friday and Saturdays. I started not dressing like other people and just being myself. I started to be able to think for myself, and to be able to, sorry, I'm speaking pretty loud, to be able to realize what hobbies, what activities, what things I like to do, what ideas that are brought up in my mind that I want to pursue, what goals I have, what things that are holding me back, what things that are making me become a better person. Instantly, I knew when I started just living how I wanted to live, and living knowing that validation is cope. Validation from other people is just complete garbage. It's what everyone thinks you should be doing nowadays. Anytime someone asks me, oh man, I really want to do this, I want to start running, I want to eat clean, whatever it may be, I always ask them, well, why do you want to do it? Because if you are doing it for other people, then honestly, you're not going to get anywhere, because you might see results, but in your own life, you're not going to be fulfilled, because you're only doing it for other people, you're not doing it for yourselves. I try again each and every day, because I'm trying to better myself. I'm not doing it for other people. I can care less what other people say. And I can't even count how many people think I'm weird, how many people have commented on how I live, how I eat, whatever I do. I get hate a lot, and it's just like, I don't care, because I know who I am, and if they're gonna say what they want to say, like, great. They're not thinking like I'm doing what I'm doing, and I love it. I'm addicted to it. I don't care what other people say. When I'm walking barefoot and shirtless, grounding, people think I'm just some weirdo. Someone probably thinks I'm homeless or something, but But that's besides the fact. I don't care because I'm living for myself. I'm not seeking validation, and that's the beauty in life where you're able to realize how much you can go forward and how much you can really not fear anyone in this physical world if you don't let people dictate how you live. I don't let anyone dictate how I live. Yeah, I'll like get advice. Sometimes advice helps, but a lot of the times it's useless because it's not how I want to live. And yeah, I try to be as open-minded as I can, but in reality, when it's something that I already know is not leading me to success, or not something I want to do because I've already tried it, then I'm not going to do it. But the thing is, when you start letting yourself dictate how you live and not other people, that fear of man, that fear of judgment will go away. And the only fear you will have is the fear of the Lord. And the only fear, that's the main fear. Another fear you have is wanting to go back, wanting to live how you lived, seeking validation from others and seeking admiration and whatever it may be. I would never go back to the life I lived because I was miserable. In reality, I was miserable. I was blinded by my own thoughts of thinking that people were thinking about me. No one's thinking of me. I guarantee you, I'm 1,001% confident that no one right now is thinking of me, saying any hateful comments, either good or bad comments. I guarantee you no one's thinking about me right now because of how much everyone is thinking about themselves. Like, genuinely, no one is constantly bashing on you in their mind or to other people. Yeah, people gossip a lot, but they're just portraying their own insecurities, and they're not talking about themselves because they're afraid of what people will think. They're talking about you or anyone else besides them. No one's talking about me right now, and I know that because it's just how life is. Maybe it's like 0.1% chance, but still, even if that 0.1% chance is thinking about me, I don't care. Like, what are they gonna say? If they're gonna say something good or bad, like, it doesn't really affect me because I'm just living how I want to live. And if you desire to better your life, better yourself every single day, become the best version of yourself, level up your physique, level up your diet, not even diet, just eating normally again, eating clean, your lifestyle, locking in your routine, scaling your business. Wow, I've been walking for 42 minutes, it's bad. DM me on Instagram, it's in the link in the description. Like and subscribe to this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.